the crash of 2010. The game is going to be over. Who knows what scheme undreamed of they'll come along with to try to prop it up once more. But even that's not going to save the day. You need a productive capacity. You just can't print money.
Now, along those lines, you have another theme called a depression uplift, the pursuit of elegance and affordable sophistication.
Well, again, the world doesn't come to an end, but of course it might if they continue to go in this foreign policy direction they are. But absent of that, when you look back to the Great Depression, we had the happiest, hottest music this country's ever seen. People dressed up to the nines. The sloppy look was out, the upscale look was in. If you didn't have two nickels to rub together, you try to look the best you could, particularly at a time when people are going to be fighting for employment. They're going to want to put the best face on forward. So we're going to look at a whole elegance trend start to reemerge. And when we talk about affordable sophistication, the people in business should understand that quality is going to reign supreme. Average isn't going to make it. So, for example, if you're running a restaurant, any kind of coffee shop, whatever the business might be, smaller portions, higher quality, quality counts. We're going into a whole new direction where bigger is not better. So elegance is going to make a play not only in fashion, food, but also in entertainment. It's going to become a statement once again.
I want to talk about an interesting trend you call neo-survivalism. Explain that one.
Well, you know, when you go back to the last depressing days when we were in a survival mode, the last one, the Y2K, of course, before that in the 1970s, what had happened was that you only saw this one element of survivalist, you know, the caricature of the guy with the AK-47 heading to the hills with enough ammunition and pork and beans to ride out the storm. This is a very different one from that. You're seeing average people taking smart moves and moving in intelligent directions to prepare for the worst. Only somebody living in delusion and filled with hope, which is one of the most empty words in the metaphysical dictionary, thinks that real change is going to happen. So survivalism in every way possible, growing at your own, self-sustaining, doing as much as you can to make it as best as you can on your own. And it could happen in an urban area, suburban area, or the ex-urbans. And it also means becoming more and more tightly committed to your neighbors, your neighborhood, working together and understanding that we're all in this together, and that when we help each other out, that's going to be the best way forward.
I want to talk about another trend that you have for next year, Not Welcome Here, because this is a very growing trend that we see here in Southern California, where we're close to the border, because illegal immigration has been bankrupting the state of California. Let's talk about Not Welcome Here.
Well, Not Welcome Here is not only going to be in California, it's worldwide. Let's just look at some numbers and stay with the facts. It took 100,000 years to put 1.5 billion people on a planet to 1900. Think about it. 100,000 years ago to 1900 to put 1.5 billion people on the planet. In 100 years, we've added 5 billion people. There is no such thing as a population expert. Nobody's ever dealt with these numbers before. There's not enough jobs, there's not enough resources to go around. So what's going to happen is that all of those countries around the world that brought in cheap labor to build up during boom times are going to be pulling out the welcome mat and pushing out the immigrants, the illegals, as jobs get scarce and so do resources. A major trend that's also going to be in the U.S., a primary building block for the new party, for the new third party that's going to really, really put the Democrats and Republicans under pressure.
Let's talk about another trend you see, to be or not to be.
Well, what we're looking at here is TB. When we say that, we mean too big. And everything in the United States has become too big. And we play around with that also with tuberculosis, that TB. Because what that was the TB is consumption. It consumes the organs, and we've consumed ourselves to the point of no return here. We're going in this whole healthcare debate, for example. We rarely ever hear the problems of a obese and overweight society. Here's a fact. You can't carry around all these extra tens of pounds on a superstructure, a body that's not built to hold it. So we're going to see a huge movement in the United States, a Shape Up America trend. As we're looking down the line, the projections are now for some 40% of the people, 43% of the people to be adults, to be obese in just 8 more years. It's already at 34%. So anybody getting into this business of shaping up people is going to be big business. You're going to see governments getting involved in it. It's going to really, it ties back in, by the way, to the elegance trend and people wanting to look their best to move forward. Here's the deal. You're going for a job. You're way overweight. Which candidate's going to get the job? You can yell about all you want about discrimination, weight discrimination or whatever. The fact is the employer is really stressed on so many different levels, and to pay higher taxes and higher fees for health insurance is not on the top of the list.
Let's talk about, during this period, you also see it as a period of great innovation, the mother of invention, another trend that you see developing next year.
Innovation, as Plato said, necessity is the mother of invention. And that's what we're going to start seeing here. As times get tough, the mind goes into high gear. For example, America is the global innovation center. What's holding us back here is our government that only now favors the two bigs and gives them all our money. But in the absence of that, and even with it and without it, we're going to see more and more innovation. But innovation taking on a new twist. You're going to see high tech going down toward the lower socioeconomic strata. For example, in India, they're making refrigerators for $45, stoves for $70 for lower economics, using the highest of high tech. It's going to be a great time for innovation. It's not a green movement as people talk about. It's a smart movement. What can you do with less money to make more using the highest of highest technology? It's going to be a very exciting time, and again, America could be in the forefront of all of it.
Another trend, like almost a backlash, not made in China, a buy local, buy country first.
Well, it has to be that way, and we're seeing it already with the buy local trends. Right up here in Kingston, New York, every Saturday we have wonderful farmers markets like they do in many other parts of the world. We're going to see more of it happen. People are going to come to the understanding that you have to support your community, your neighbor, if you're going to live a higher standard of life. And we're going to see China become really a pariah nation in many ways as they undercut even the poorest of nations.